people? It's Matt Lieberman. Now, back to school season is here, and that means it's time for a highly educational top 10 of the best high school TV shows of all time. Now, everyone has a different high school experience, and with that comes a different taste in shows. So let me stress that this is my personal list. The way I picked it, I think a show has to be very well written, very well acted, it has to feel real, and it has to do something to move the form forward. So there are going to be a lot of shows that didn't make the cut. Sorry. I hope you do not wait for Dawson's Creek to be on this list, and not Boy Meets World or One Tree Hill, also not the OC. Steve Zaragoza, everybody. He's an American treasure. Number 10, Saved by the Bell. The show is a cultural icon for a reason. Its insane popularity made the adventures of Zach Morris, Kelly Kapowski, Slater, Screech, Lisa Turtle, and the girl from Showgirls a cultural touchstone. This show, in many ways, is the last of its kind, a throwback show about mostly hip kids that exist in a fantasy world, where all bad things are resolved in 22 minutes flat. Isn't that nice? It's the show that the majority of the shows on this list were a reaction to, and none of them would exist if not for this trailblazing show, which is also about to get a super fun tell-all movie that we all say we aren't going to watch, but we're totally going to watch. Number 9, Veronica Mars. Now, this underseen cult classic is one of the best written TV shows ever, period. It starred Kristen Bell as a brooding teenager turned budding private investigator as she investigated her best friend's murder among dozens of other cases. The show wasn't afraid to treat its characters like adults and wasn't afraid to deal with rape, murder, suicide, and abuse. What I loved about this show was the incredible humor and the quote-worthy dialogue and the sense of danger as Veronica started to piss off some really powerful people. But most importantly, the beautifully written and played relationship between Veronica and her father, played by Enrico Colantoni. It was canceled after only 3 seasons, but fans loved the series so much that they broke Kickstarter records to produce a Veronica Mars movie that was released this past spring. It's the highest funded movie project ever on the site, and the entire series of Veronica Mars is available for streaming on Amazon Prime. I highly encourage that you check it out. Number 8, Degrassi and Degrassi: The Next Generation. Now, purists will cry foul that I'm combining the two shows, which are ultimately very different because they're cast in the changing times. I get it. But the show's cultural legacy is so extensive that it just can't be discounted. Degrassi debuted in 1987 and ran until 1993 before it was revived in 2001 and has run 13 seasons in its current form. The show has always been celebrated for tackling real teenagers' issues with gravity and stakes, something that shows featuring teenagers were thoroughly unable to do in the 80s and early 90s. The show was revolutionary in its approach to its characters, whose issues were never cleanly wrapped up at the end of an episode. Degrassi, like life, just keeps going. Number 7, Clone High. Okay, those of you out there scratching your heads, listen up. Did you like the Lego Movie? Did you like 21 and 22 Jump Street? Did you like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? Then you already love the creators of this short-lived cult classic, which aired for 1 season on MTV back in 2003. Though they're now big-time comedy directors, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller came to television with a thoroughly twisted and silly idea. A high school populated with clones of famous figures from throughout history who are now just like us. Abraham Lincoln is a clumsy dork, and Joan of Arc is his goth best friend who has a crush on him, and Mahatma Gandhi is an ADD-addled party animal. The show was critically acclaimed, but it was canceled due to pressure from viewers who felt that the portrayal of Gandhi was highly disrespectful. I get it, but come on, it's good. I'm still holding out hope for a movie, though. Come on, guys, you make movies, make a movie. You can do it. Number 6, Gilmore Girls. Now, before I get a metric fuck ton of crap for loving this show, it is excellent, okay? The writing, the performances are stellar throughout this tale of a teenage girl and her mother who had her when she was only 16 years old. They're more friends than parent and child, and their relationship is the core of the show. It's sweet, it's silly, it's heartbreaking. Gilmore Girls is just one of the best shows about a small town ever. And if you're looking for 6 seasons of wit to watch this wit. You're welcome. Dumb joke, but I'm keeping it anyway. Number 5, My So-Called Life. Groundbreaking doesn't even cover it. This show launched the careers of future Emmy winner Claire Danes and Academy Award winner Jared Leto in the best way possible, with a relatable, lived-in show that just worked on every level. It broke new ground, featuring the first openly gay high schooler on television. And even in one brief season, it influenced the style of every high school drama that came after it. The show had no interest in happy endings or easily learned lessons. It was the first show in the States to tackle high school and its doldrums in a realistic fashion. We owe the creators for giving us every great show that has come since. Number 4, Daria. The subversive MTV animated series was incredibly unique and funny and was the first of its kind. An animated comedy about a teen who had no fucks left to give. Daria made it okay for us to feel that way openly for the first time, and for that, we'll always be grateful. We don't have a volleyball. Number 3, Freaks and Geeks. Now, this is many people's number 1 show, but it's my number 3. It's Judd Apatow and Paul Feig's love letter to the 80s and to the painful awkwardness, loneliness, and longing that comprise the American high school experience. It's beautiful, it's loud, and it spawned the careers of Seth Rogen, James Franco, Jason Segel, Linda Cardellini, Martin Starr, and Busy Phillips. Highly, highly recommended. Number 2, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We don't have to use that. One of the best television shows ever. I mean, yeah, okay, it's campy at first, but once it gets through its growing pains, this show is relentlessly entertaining and clever as hell. If you've never watched a Joss Whedon show and you're a fan of the Avengers movie, or maybe you've just watched Firefly and that's the only show you've ever watched of his and it's time to like jump in, maybe it's time to jump in and watch this one, see where he came from. The show's very ambitious, it's funny, it's packed with action and memorable romance. Scooby Gang forever. And now, number 1, Friday Night Lights, the finest, most human and moving high school show ever conceived. Now, I know what you're thinking, the football show? Well, that's the thing. The show seems like it's about football, but football is really secondary. It's about the pressures and joys of growing up in a small town in Texas where people are so crazy about football that the level of pressure on the players is enormous. It feels incredibly real due to an innovative 3-camera shooting style and that the actors were allowed to tweak their own dialogue, giving every word an almost improvised quality. No show has ever made me cry as often or get me so wrapped up in these characters who are diverse and very well written and very well acted. The first episode's a little corny, but after that, the rest of the first season is one of my top 3 seasons of television ever. Watch it. It's all on Netflix. Just go watch it. And okay, season 2 gets a little weird, but everything else is flawless. Season 2, they just do like one thing that's just like stupid, but everything else feels very true to life. It's just that one stupid thing, man. It almost got the show canceled, and I'm glad it didn't. So, folks, let me know what you thought of this list down in the comments below. Tell me your own top 10 lists. I'm sure that I didn't get all the shows that you loved, or we're not necessarily on the same page. I'm not going to take it too harshly if you guys don't agree. Not everyone's going to. I'm fine with that. I'm Matt Lieberman. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the list. Start a cultural firestorm of people being mad at me. I'm okay with that. And oh yeah, happy back to school, losers! I get to go to work every day. But it's a fun job.